Hi everyone, Anat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to use old and dry brushes. So the first idea is to use an old brush on a cover of an art journal or a notebook. So I have deconstructed the notebook and I'm going to work on the front cover, and I'm basically going to add different items, colors, letters to decorate my notebook cover. This is going to be an art journal, and one of the things that I'm going to add is an old dry brush. So I'm going to start with adding a little bit of color with sprays. You can do it with acrylic paints if you want. Also going to color my letters. This is completely up to you how you want to decorate your cover. A little bit of crayons on the letters and on the cover, and I'm also going to use old crayons and I'm going to attach them to the cover and then melt them a little bit with my heat tool. So it's really cool. Once they are attached, I'm simply heating them with my heat tool, and see, they melt. It's really cool effect. So it's another way of using something that you don't need. So I have here some old items, and you can see the brush. I'm going to attach my dry old brush to the cover with some glue, and of course you can use more than one brush. You can see that is pretty old. And then I'm going to add other items and my letters. It says art, and then I'm going to add a little piece of paper with the word journal, so I'll have my art journal cover ready. And that's one way of using an old dry brush, paint brush that you don't need anymore. So instead of throwing it away, just use it as an embellishment item or piece. So it looks pretty good on that cover. I added some stenciling and some more spraying, and this is my finished notebook or art journal cover. So it's pretty cool with all the letters. The second idea, I don't have a video for it, but I can go through it. And what I did, I took a few old paint brushes, different sizes paint brushes, and I've attached them together. See, this is the back with a piece of chipboard. They're all glued to that chipboard, and then I simply painted them with some acrylic paint, some rust paint. I added some metal embellishments to give it a steampunk look, and this is a piece that I can hang on my wall. So it's another idea to simply create a surface of brushes and work on it like a canvas or a chipboard piece and create art on it. And the last idea I want to share with you is to use one brush as a surface to work on, and alter it like this. So basically what I did is take a really big brush that I used, and I don't need it anymore. It's actually from painting a wall, and what I did is cover it with white gesso, the front of the bristles as well as the handle, everything in the front. This is how it looks when it's covered with 2 coats of white gesso. I didn't cover the back, don't need to. And then I added some stenciling. Basically at this point you can add whatever you want to your brush. You should consider it as a surface like a canvas, so you basically can add anything to it. So when you work on gesso, you can add any medium or any material. So I'm adding some stenciling with modeling paste, and then I'm going to spray it with 3 different colors. I used brown, green, and teal. Again, you can use acrylic paints if you want. You can use watercolors. You can use ink to add color to your surface. And then I wanted to add some texture, so I used a bandage, which I also sprayed. This is a regular bandage from the pharmacy. And then a few pieces of lace. This is to add texture to my surface. And again, I sprayed them to add color as well. The same sprays that I used on the brush, of course. Of course, you need to wait until it's dry. You can dry it with your heat tool. It's like using fabric, but very, very, very thin fabric. And I also added color to my lace and my ribbons, just to make sure that they all match in color. I also have a lamppost that I colored from chipboard, and a little bit of a fence to create my scene. And I'm gluing the bandage on the bottom of the paintbrush. Now I can add my fence. Basically, I'm creating a little scene on the paintbrush as I would if I worked on a canvas. So it's another idea of using your paintbrush as a surface to create art. It's a really unique look. So I'm adding the pieces of my lace and ribbon. And then you can see how much texture that adds. And now I want to add some flowers to complete my scene. This is sort of a flower vine that I can add. So I'm just cutting a few pieces to add them. Don't want to use the whole thing, slightly too big. So I'm just adding it with a little bit of glue. The good thing about these vines is that you can move them and adjust their position, so it's really cool. You can move the flowers and the little branches because they're built on wires, so you can just move the wire to any position that you want. So I want to add lots and lots of flowers. And then finally I can also add a title with some chipboard letters. Add a few more small flowers. When you add embellishments, you always add them in clusters. And you always start with the larger ones and then fill the little blanks or the little spaces with smaller flowers. So this is a tip for you about how to add flowers or any type of embellishments to a project. Even if you're doing a steampunk project and you want to add metal embellishments, you always do it in clusters. Start with the big ones and then add the small ones to fill in the holes or the spaces or the blanks. Okay, so I think I have enough flowers here. I can go ahead and add some letters. I want to spell the word bloom. There are so many flowers there. So I'm just going to color the letters with some brown ink and some brown crayon and some black crayon, because they are raw chipboard, so I don't want it to be gray. Don't like that color. Okay, so now I can go ahead and attach. And always another tip for you, when you add letters to a project, make sure you have room for all of them. So I always like to start gluing the letters from right to left and start with the last letter going to the first letter. This way I can always make sure that I have room for the entire word. So this is the third idea of how to use old and dry paintbrushes. So we had one that we attached the paintbrush to the cover of a notebook. Then we created a surface from a few paintbrushes glued together. And finally, we have this as a surface to create art. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.